Hello everyone, this is Daddy here. Hope you are well. Our topic today is how to trade the news. What is news trading? Top 5 market news events to watch out for. How does it work? What are the challenges of trading the news? What currencies do we trade? And 3 strategies for trading the news. So first of all, what is news trading? It is a technique used to trade equities, currencies, and other financial instruments based on economics news reports. These reports often start a strong move in the market, which may create trading opportunity for traders. It's not enough to only know technical analysis when you trade. It's just as important to know what makes the forex market move. Generally, no fewer than 7 pieces of data are released daily from the 8 major currencies. So for those of us who choose to trade the news, there are plenty of opportunities to do so. So we look at top 5 news to watch out for. They are the central bank rate decision, the GDP, the CPI, unemployment rate, FOMC meeting. So how does it work? There are 2 figures that's very important. Forecasted figure and actual figure. Okay, so I'll take you to forexfactory.com. It's a website that a lot of traders go to find information, especially about the trading news calendar. Okay, the news calendar. So we go over now to forexfactory.com. Okay, so at forexfactory.com, here we are. So you click calendar and then you get the whole calendar for the week. All right. So first of all, you have the date, but make sure your date is set to your own local time, or your time is set to local time. My local time is here, so you set yours to your local time so that you can see the time in your own time zone. So the date, the time of release, the currency it affects, and the impact. So we have different type of impact. This is a low impact. The next type is the medium impact. This color means non-economic news at all. And the last one is the high impact. The red is the high impact. Okay, so we have these 4 types. The one that is important is the high impact. It's the only one that actually make the market move. So I will filter out the rest and only keep the high impact news. Okay, so the high impact news. Now let us look at one of the news. Let's look at, for example, this is the crude oil inventories. Okay, crude oil inventory, or let's look at the New Zealand official cash rate. So these are all very, very important news. So let's look at the crude oil. So this was released on Wednesday the 9th at 3:30 p.m. It's a US dollar or United States data, and it will affect US dollar and any currency that relate to US dollar. So the impact is a high impact, and the report is a crude oil inventory. If you want to know more about crude oil inventory, you can click here. It will tell you what it is. Okay, so look at the number that is important. Okay, previously we have 6.2 million barrel. It's forecast that it will be bad, that we will not have that much, so we'll be having 0.2 million. However, it come out minus 2.2 million. So that means the actual figure is worse than the expected figure. Hence, it's bad for US dollar. So let's look at another one. Let's look at the CPI. Okay, the CPI. So that's the inflation report. So if you look at inflation report, what does it mean? The inflation report is a change in the piece of goods and services purchased by consumer, excluding food and energy. If the actual is greater than expected or forecast, is good for currency. So you can read this detail. To get the detail, you can click the folder. It will tell you the detail. So now we have previous number is 0.2%. We're still expecting 0.2%. That's the forecast, but it came out to be 0.1, right? So that's not good for USD. So you will see that US dollar will fall against major currencies and other currencies that are related to US dollar. So this is how it works, but we need to know how we can take the advantage of this information. So we go back. So this is how it works. Now, what are the challenges? Because you need to understand some of the challenges that trader will face when you are trying to trade the news. So one of them is widening of spread. Because the forex market is very volatile during important news events, many forex brokers widen the spread during these times. What about slippage? Yes, slippage occurs when you wish to enter the market at a certain price, but due to the extreme volatility during this event, you actually get filled at a far different price. What about lock you out of your trade? Brokers platform frozen out? Yes, it happens. You could be locked out, which means that your trade could be executed at the right time, but it may not show up in your trading platform for a few minutes. It means for that few minutes, you will lose control of your trade. These are not very good challenges. Okay. What are the currencies paired to trade? You have the euro dollar and all other major currencies. Actually, you can trade any currencies at all, provided it is related to that news. Okay. Now let's go into 3 new trading strategy, powerful strategies you can use to take advantage of how to trade this news. The first one is called the price retracement. The price retracement is very simple. You have to wait for the news to be released. After the news has been released, then you go in your charts. You can pick up a 5-minute chart. If the news is a big news like interest rate release, if it's a smaller news, maybe GDP or CPI, you might go for the 1-minute charts. So what you are looking for is the spike. You are looking for the initial spike. So we look at here, the first candle here is the initial spike, followed by the second candle. After that, you see a retracement. So after the retracement, the breakout. So you'll wait for the retracement to complete and you will go with the breakout. So you sell the breakout after that retracement. You see the initial spike, they form a low, and then the low is being taken out by the next candle. This is where you go short, and you can put your stop loss just above this retracement pack here. Put your stop loss just above this area. And how much is that stop loss? You calculate it. Let's say it is 10 pips or 20 pips. Multiply that by 3 or 4 or 5 as a risk reward ratio, depending on how you feel about the market. That will be your take profit. Okay, that's the first strategy. The second strategy is called the news volatility straddle. Okay, this you have to take action before the news. Just 1 minute before the news, you enter a buy stop and sell stop orders into the system at a predetermined points above and below the current price. So let's say you put it 10 pips above the current price, 10 pips below the current price. The number of pips also depend on the news you are expecting. If you're expecting a big news, make sure the points are wider. If it's a smaller news, it could be 5 points above and 5 points below. Okay, so let's say you have set up 2 orders now, 10 pips above, 10 pips below. Buy stop, sell stop. Then immediately the news is out, one thing will happen. One of your trades will be triggered. In this scenario, this buy trade is triggered. Then you go and cancel the sell trade. If this has been triggered, cancel the sell trade. Stop loss could be 10 to 20 pips. Your stop loss, actually use the difference between these two orders as your stop loss. So the sell is the stop loss for the buy is the stop loss for the sell. So it means you are actually you have edged these two orders. Okay, so when the news is released, one of the orders will be taken, and then you set your profit target is 5 multiplied by your initial stop loss. So if your initial stop loss was 20, your take profit is 100 pips. So if you hit your 100 pips immediately here or over there, fantastic. If you have not hit your 100 pips, you can trail your position, or better still, close your position after 1 hour of trading. Okay, now let's go to the last strategy. This is a position trading strategy. So some major news can be a game changer, for example, creating volatility in a very short time, but you see the trend will resume its course. So it means that this is a huge opportunity for long-term traders to pick up a position they have been waiting to do for long. For example, this is a pair that is obviously is in a long-term trend, as you can see. Let's say this is a daily, this is a 4-hour chart or daily chart. It's on a long-term trend, and suddenly here a news is released. So the long-term trader is looking for opportunity to enter this trade. So we are here. So he's waiting for the opportunity, and suddenly it got the opportunity here. So it got the opportunity from the news release. The news release was temporarily bad for this currency, and he used the opportunity to go long because he knows this currency is on a long-term trend. So these are the 3 strategies that you can employ to trade the news. I will suggest that you practice these 3 strategies. Make sure you are comfortable with it on a demo account. And there's so many news that comes out on a daily basis. So you have plenty of opportunities to practice. So everybody, thank you for watching. I hope this is a beneficial video for you, and I will bring more videos shortly. So it's me signing off, Dare.